If you play Chopin, I'll marry you. The janitor's response silenced the CEO in the grand lobby of a luxurious music corporation. Laughter echoed as the elegant CEO, Samantha Lee, mocked a humble janitor. The occasion? A charity gala where the world's best pianists were performing Chopin. When one pianist canceled, Samantha smirked and joked, "If you can play Chopin, Mr. Janitor, I'll marry you." The crowd burst into laughter. Everyone knew Daniel, the janitor, barely spoke, and no one imagined he could touch a piano. But when Daniel quietly walked toward the grand piano, silence fell. His hands trembled for a second. And then the hall filled with music so hauntingly beautiful, it froze every heart. Each note told a story of pain, loss, and love long buried. When he finished, Samantha's eyes were filled with tears. Because what she didn't know was that Daniel once played this very piece for her mother. The gala hall shimmered with chandeliers and crystal wine glasses. Wealthy guests filled the room, their chatter mixing with soft classical music. Samantha Lee, CEO of Harmony Records, stood proudly near the stage. "Let's make this night unforgettable," she announced, when the lead pianist suddenly canceled. Panic spread. "Who'll play Chopin now?" murmured the guests. Samantha tried to lighten the mood. Her eyes caught Daniel, the janitor, sweeping quietly at the back. His uniform was old and his hands calloused. "Hey, Daniel," she called teasingly. "You've been cleaning this piano for years. How about you play something?" The hall erupted in laughter. Someone added, "If he plays Chopin, he deserves more than a raise, maybe your hand in marriage." Samantha laughed. "Fine. If you can play Chopin's Nocturne in C-sharp minor, I'll marry you myself." Daniel looked up, his eyes deep and unreadable. "Are you sure, ma'am?" he said softly. "Absolutely," she smirked. "Let's see the janitor perform." Gasps filled the room as Daniel slowly approached the piano. The chatter stopped. The man who had mopped floors for years now sat before a Steinway worth millions. He brushed the keys gently, like greeting an old friend. Then, his fingers began to move. A melody emerged, slow, sorrowful, breathtaking. The laughter died instantly. Each note carried emotion too pure to fake. The music soared and wept. People stood still, mesmerized. When he finished, there was silence. Samantha's lips trembled. That melody, she had heard it once before when she was a child. Played by her mother before she passed away. "Where did you learn that?" she whispered. Daniel looked up, tears glistening. "From the woman who taught me everything, your mother." Samantha froze. "My mother?" She stammered. Daniel nodded. "Years ago, before she built this company, she taught piano at a small community school. I was one of her students." He smiled faintly, lost in memory. "She believed that music wasn't about skill, it was about heart. I couldn't afford lessons, but she let me stay after class to practice. When I played this piece for her, she said, someday, it would change my life." Tears welled in his eyes. "When she died, I promised I'd play it again for someone who reminded me of her kindness." The crowd was silent. Samantha covered her mouth, realization dawning. "All this time, you were the boy from her stories, the one she said had magic in his hands." Daniel nodded, his voice trembling. "I became a janitor here because I couldn't bear to leave the place she built. I just wanted to stay close to her dream." Samantha turned away, ashamed. "And I mocked you." Daniel shook his head. "You're not to blame. You forgot where you came from, just like I once forgot why I played." He stood, ready to leave. But Samantha stopped him. "Daniel, please, play it again." This time, she sat beside him. As he played, Samantha's hand touched the keys too. Together, they created something new, the same Chopin piece, but filled with healing. When the last note faded, applause erupted, but Samantha didn't care. She looked at Daniel and whispered, "Thank you for reminding me who I am." Weeks later, news of the janitor pianist went viral. Harmony Records offered Daniel a chance to record his music. But he refused fame. Music should touch hearts, not wallets, he said humbly. Samantha, changed by the night, began a new foundation, the Melody of Hope, offering free music lessons to poor children in her mother's name. One evening, Daniel visited the rooftop of Harmony Records. Samantha was there, gazing at the city lights. "You kept your promise," he said softly, "and you kept my mother's dream alive," she replied. They sat together in silence until Samantha smiled. "You know, I never did keep my word." Daniel looked puzzled. "What do you mean?" She turned toward him and said, with a hint of playfulness, "I promised to marry the man who could play Chopin." Daniel chuckled nervously. "You were joking." Samantha shook her head gently. "Maybe then, but not anymore." The city lights shimmered as the melody of Nocturne played softly in the background. For the first time in years, Daniel smiled, not as a janitor but as the man who brought music, love, and memories back to life. True talent needs no title. Never judge a person by their uniform, because behind the simplest faces, the most beautiful melodies may be hiding. If this story touched your heart, like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring tales that remind us kindness and music never fade.